Hello, and welcome to the second edition of Army News. In this newscast, we have stories on stress trauma, part 2 of the Clothe the Soldier program, news on the new G-Wagon, and the Skyhawks training in Paris Valley. It's all coming up, so stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Warrant Officer Ron Camo from CFSUO Supply, and you're watching Army News.
Are you suffering inside? Valcartier's Health Center is offering a variety of services. Sergeant Cedric Hamel fills us in on one of those services.
Some say it's useless. Others say it's a good thing but claim they don't need it. However, between 800 and 900 people seek counseling each year at Valcartier's mental health service. I met with Anne-Marie Gay, a psychologist here, and she explains some of the services offered.
In fact, there are many ways to contact us. For the member, it could be calling us now or calling when he or she feels comfortable to do so. When a person contacts us, we will book an appointment. We also respond to emergency situations when a person needs to meet a counselor immediately. I think what's most important is that you try to reach us as soon as possible when you know something is wrong. There is a normal adjustment period when coming back from a mission. I think it would be a period of between 4 to 6 weeks after returning home from a mission. But if problems persist beyond the adjustment period, this could indicate the need for more help and support. And the faster a member comes to seek additional assistance, the easier it becomes for the member and for us to provide support.
For those who feel more comfortable talking over the phone or who just need to talk to someone, contact the Member Assistance Program or MAP program. You can talk to an attendant on a 24-hour basis at their 1-800 number. Flyers like this one are available at various locations around the base, either at the Family Resource Center, the Health Center, or at the unit medical sections. This is Sergeant Cedric Hamel for Army News at Valcartier's Health Center.
Thank you, Sergeant Hamel. Tired of waiting in line at clothing stores until you find out the item you are looking for is not available? Well, no need for long lineups or back-ordered kit. Sergeant Derek Scott tells us how you can order your kit online.
In June 2003, Clothing Online was approved as an alternate delivery system for the distinctive environmental uniform. Lieutenant Colonel Teresa McNutt and Colonel Mark Matheson explain.
It is an initiative to improve the way we deliver clothing support to the individual member in the Canadian Forces. It's specifically focused on the Distinct Environmental Uniform, or the DEU, and what it looks to do is to deliver clothing to the member via the internet. Instead of going to clothing stores at the local base or wing, the individual will actually get on his computer and demand the item from a contractor. The benefit to the Canadian Forces is that those personnel and the resources that were involved in delivering DEU clothing support will be turned over to the Armed Forces for use in other areas. Areas like Army transformation, for example. We're focused on improving the level of service to the individual soldier, regardless of where they are, either in Canada or overseas. But at the same time, we want to minimize the cost of delivering that service to the individual so that the Canadian Forces can use that money for higher priorities. In terms of the future, we've got to be clear that we're not going to close down the base or wing supply sections. What we really are doing, though, is revolutionizing them in a way.
As well, they have 24/7 access online to place their order, which is then forwarded within 24 hours. Clothing Online, because it is the direct delivery directly to the member, it's much more efficient. So the member is getting quick service in terms of receiving their articles within a few working days, as well as it frees up our support folks. In the near future, we will be trialing and providing a solution to include initial issues within the Clothing Online functionality. We have about 32,000 users across the CF. That includes the regular force and the reserves and the CIC population. For military members, they access Clothing Online through either the internet or the DIN. On the internet, the address is www.logisticunicorps.com. And for first-time users, they enter their service number and their name and go through a quick registration process. Once they're into the Clothing Online system, they can either indicate their sizes if they know what it is for their replacement DU items, or they can order measurements, often taken from a scanning machine, which are being fielded across the forces.
The Body Boss system is simple and effective, a special image environment designed with privacy and efficiency in mind, a precision method that delivers accurate and reliable body measurements by capturing digital images from the front and side angles simultaneously. Sophisticated computer software calculates specific dimensions and recommends appropriate clothing sizes. The Body Boss system provides a personal report for the member to order online.
Clothing Online is a success story. The implementation is proceeding extremely well. The members are very pleased with the level of service provided, and as well, we are realizing internal efficiencies to help us do business better.
Clothing Online is aimed at direct delivery of non-operational clothing to all Canadian Forces members. One of 6 initiatives under the MESOP project, which will generate an estimated savings to D&D of approximately $47 million annually. For Army News, in Ottawa, Sergeant Derek Scott.
Guillena Wagon? Does that mean anything to you? Sergeant Mike Vandenbroek fills us in.
One Canadian Mechanized Brigade group took delivery of the first 20 G-Wagons in Canada this past month to facilitate driver and maintenance training for the soldiers that will be driving and maintaining the new vehicles while deployed on Operation Athena. The Light Utility Vehicle Wheeled, or LoveW as it is more commonly known, is a far more robust vehicle compared to the Iltis and provides the occupants a more secure driving environment. Master Corporal Brian Plessick, a vehicle technician with 1 Service Battalion, had this to say on the maintenance and the vehicle itself.
I think it's a great replacement for the Iltis. It's definitely a step in the right direction for better vehicles that we get, and I like it. The maintenance for the first couple of years on it will be mostly operator, and for the mechanic side, I can't see a lot of problems. Only through operator error will they select something incorrect, and we'll just have to better show them how, or remind them how to operate the vehicle properly. Mechanically wise, it's a Mercedes and it should withstand the test of time as far as I'm concerned.
The LoveW will be a welcome addition to the military's inventory of general support vehicles, both here, at home, and overseas on missions. This is Sergeant Mike Vandenbroek reporting for Army News, Edmonton, Alberta. For more information on the LoveW, you can go to www.army.gc.ca.
Hi, I'm Corporal Derek Tozer. You're watching Army News. Okay, so this is the one of the flight gear.
For close to 20 years, the Skyhawks have undergone their preseason team training in the United States, and Army News went there to find out why. 16 highly experienced soldiers from across the Canadian Forces gathered in Paris Valley, California to complete their complex advanced parachutist phase of their annual selection to become members of Canada's elite parachutist team, the Skyhawks. The Skyhawks have been conducting their training at Paris Valley since 1986. Skyhawks team captain Troy Neufeld explains why.
We come down here for the weather. Normally most of that training is conducted in February, March, April, and we start our show season in May. So if we formed up in Canada or out on the East Coast or wherever else, we're running into a lot of problems with weather. So we come down here, we have perfectly blue skies, we have good winds, and we have good weather, and we're able to accomplish the 120 jumps that we aim for to accomplish in our 5 weeks down here.
Always a thrill to make the team, first-time member Corporal Brad McKenzie of 3rd Battalion, Princess Patricia's Canadian Light Infantry, is excited about the upcoming tour of Canada, specifically the dates in Alberta.
For me, I'm looking forward to mostly in the Alberta shows. We're actually going to spend pretty close to a month in Alberta, and they're in close enough location for my wife and my daughter to actually drive and come see the shows in Medicine Hat and Calgary and Cold Lake, and so that's going to be a thrill for them to actually be able to come see me do it. So,
the Skyhawks unofficially began their 2004 season with their performance at the March Air Reserve Base Air Show in Southern California during the last week of April in front of thousands of American families. They captivated the crowd with their professional demonstrations such as the candy cane, dazzling twists and turns, leg locks involving 2 and 3 men in a virtual freefall, sharp descents, and landings that looked amazingly easy. They concluded their show with a salute to the crowd before moving into that same crowd to repack their parachutes and sign autographs for the many amazed families. The Skyhawks are outstanding ambassadors to our country, and it is evident with their performances, their interaction with the people, and the fact that only the best become Skyhawks. With their first performance complete here at the March Air Reserve Base, the Skyhawks have now officially kicked off their 2004 tour. They will now head home to the Canadian Parachute Center, where they will have some time to unpack their bags, do some much-needed laundry, and repack those same bags as they begin their cross-Canada international tour with their first stop in Japan. The Skyhawks will be coming to a town or city near you. Look for them this summer. Sergeant Craig Reed, Army News, with the Skyhawks, Paris Valley, California. For more information on your Army and other stories Army News has covered, visit our website at army.gc.ca. 2,000 kilometers is a long way to go for training, but that's exactly what 36 Armored Reconnaissance soldiers did from the Prince Edward Island Regiment on Exercise Southern Tango 3. Sergeant Todd Berry reports.
The Virtual Training Center, commonly known as the Warthogs, has a wall covered with plaques and pictures from Canadian units. That is because virtual reality training here at Fort Knox is second to none.
It's very realistic. When they're sitting in the sims, and they'll even lose contact with actually where they're at, it looks and appears to them that they're in the actual fighting vehicle, whether it be a Bradley or whether it be an Abrams. And once they start driving, start maneuvering, gunning, and commanding, it's almost the same as being in the actual vehicle.
Oh, it's good. You learn lots. We don't have a good ground and PEI to cover, so it's nice.
704, T-72, facing north, was engaged by other means and destroyed. Over.
My job here is the exercise controller, and I'm operating the system, controlling the movement of the enemy forces, or watching and observing the enemy forces as they're moving across. When the Canadians come in, it's really great because they come in, they know what they need to do, they get in the equipment. Initially, there's a small amount of relearning the familiarization with the vehicle, and then they're right in and running missions like they would be back in Canada. You don't have the dust, you don't have the noise distractor, but realism, when you're getting in and you're actually doing the job, is very little difference.
And driver advance. Driver, you have...
After a long day of simulation training, troops here are receiving a debrief on the mission that they've just completed. This is where simulation training excels. The good and the bad points are pointed out, with the troops able to see it on the screen. For Army News, I'm Sergeant Todd Berry, reporting from Fort Knox, Kentucky.
Close to 400 soldiers from Southern Ontario deployed to Fort Hood, Texas for Exercise Maple Lightning. Sergeant Kevin Guillena covered the urban operations exercise, and he filed this report.
Exercise Maple Lightning 2004 is a brigade-level training exercise held down here in Texas. The aim of this exercise is to prepare the soldiers of the brigade for the upcoming Stalwart Guardian exercise held this August in Canadian Forces Base Petawawa.
We're training as a company within a battalion. We have engineers attached, we have medics attached, so there are all kinds of more bits and pieces that we have to put together in order to make the battle work smoothly in our favor. That's really what we're trying to focus on. Operations in complex terrain and working in a collective combat team environment.
Just for those that are sitting around the house and thinking about joining either the reservists or the regular army, just to go for it because of opportunities like this, and it's a great learning experience.
It was a good practice. It got us to practice our tactics. We went through different situations with them and had them actually working in the simulators, doing the exact same thing we'd be doing out here, but without the vehicles.
This is Sergeant Kevin Guillena reporting, Army News, Fort Hood, Texas.
This is Army News, your news for your Army, and we would like to hear from you. We welcome your feedback. Please visit our website at army.gc.ca. For Army News, I am Sergeant Craig Reed.